If the Fractal Design Define R4 was the greatest of all time, or GOAT, then I think it only follows that the Define R5 would be the GOAT second edition.
That wasn't the intro.
No, but it's much funnier. First off, a big shout out to our friendly neighborhood giant, Josh. Hi, Josh. Thanks for sending us a review unit of this. You are the man. Yes, my friends, the Define R5. Here she stands in all her glory. Some would argue that you can't improve perfection, which is true, but Fractal seems to have let perfection evolve. Let's take a look at the changes. And also, thank you, Josh, for helping us script this video, apparently. Exterior-wise, we're greeted with the familiar shape of the Define series. First, the front door. It swings open to reveal Fractal's special sound dampening material, but now it can swing from the right. It can swing from the left by unscrewing it and rescrewing it on. One of the only things that swings both ways here at the studio. There's a 3-speed fan controller just above the 2 optical drive bays, which is always nice. And the 2 fan filters, one in the front and one in the bottom, are very nicely integrated. Behind the front filter is one of the 2 included 140mm dynamic GP14 series fans with room for another 120 or 140mm fan as well. And along the sides of the front panel, we've got classic intake vents, although now with more ventilation because these are much more open than the previous Define series cases. Up top, we've got the usual front panel inputs: headphone, microphone, reset, power, 2 USB 2, 2 USB 3. I would have liked to see 4 USB 3, but honestly, how many high-speed thumb drives do you really need plugged into the front of your PC? It's probably fine. Beyond the front I/O are the 3 all-new Moduvents, toolless fan covers, each lined with the same sound-absorbing material we saw on the front. These can be removed individually to mount fans or radiators, or left as they are. It's up to you, the people. I'm apparently supposed to do a Bane impression. I don't remember what Bane sounds like, so I'll just do Batman.
It's up to you, the people.
Something. Anyway, on the back, we have the cutout for the motherboard I/O. The second included 140mm fan, this time with vertical adjustability, 7 expansion slots, a bottom-mounted power supply slot, and this little latch to open up the side panel. It's interesting that the right side panel has the magical retained captive self-stay-in screws, but the left side has the plain old regular thumb screws, but I guess it also has that latch, so you don't really have to use the thumb screws that are on this side panel anyway. All right, so let's move on to the interior. You'll find the accessory box nestled into one of the hard drive sleds, and actually a fairly standard layout internally if you've ever seen a Define series case before. You've got 8 hard drive bays, all SSD compatible. The cages can be configured in various ways. They can be removed, stacked, and even rotated 90 degrees. There's also an additional 2 SSD mounts on the rear of the motherboard tray. So you do have to screw the drives into the tray, but then you can mount the tray to the back of the motherboard tray toollessly, so much better implementation than we saw on one of Fractal's previous cases where you actually had to screw in the SSDs from the front. The optical drive bays can be completely removed for those of you looking to really go at it with radiators. So there's a ton of space for radiators, up to a 420mm in top, 360mm in the front, 240mm in the bottom, and a 140mm in the back. Those are all your radiator mounting options. The max GPU length is 310mm with cages installed, or 440mm with no cages, which is funny because I've never seen a 440mm graphics card, although, knowing AMD, that rumored R9 390X, who knows? The max heatsink height for air coolers is 180mm, and the motherboard tray includes an alignment pin, which helps hold your MOBO in place as you screw it in. I'm a big fan of this, having the middle standoff just have a little nubbin on it. Some grommets are included for cable management, and Jack loves the fact that they included Velcro straps to help with that as well. And by some grommets, I think he means all of the holes have grommets, except that little one that I usually use for front panel audio down in the bottom left side. So all in all, the Define R5 is, insert opinion here. Wow, thank you guys for having such a finished script that changes to point form 2/3 of the way through and then says insert opinion here. Overall, it's an evolutionary change as opposed to a revolutionary one. We do get some creature comforts that I think were missing from the last generation Define R4 compared to some of the cases that have come out in the last, like almost 2 years since the Define R4 first stormed onto the market with evolutionary changes from the Define R3, but I really don't think that, in much the way that we alluded to in the introduction, that they needed to change a whole lot to keep the Define series relevant. It's still the go-to, quiet, compact case with a ton of drive mounting options that it's always been, just now with more water cooling options and a little bit more modularity. Thank you guys for watching. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this from ncix.com. First off, a big sorry. Goat, second edition, what would that spell?